The medical bay at the edge of the constellation pulsed with the quiet rhythm of advanced Galactic Confederation machinery. Clean lights glowed against polished metal, and the air vibrated with controlled precision. Sarek, the ship's chief medical officer, stood rigid beside a hovering medical platform. All four of his crystalline arms were folded tightly across his chest, his bioluminescent skin flickering amber, the Valoran signal for firm disagreement. Unacceptable, Sarek stated flatly as his translator converted sharp chimes into standard speech. The organism cannot be treated. The neurological trauma is extensive. Termination is the only humane option. Secured to the sled lay a Corinthian war beast, nearly 800 pounds of engineered muscle, armored plating, and barely restrained agony. Recovered from a drifting escape pod after the battle near Kepler 442, its massive frame bore deep plasma scars and neural disruptor wounds. 6 powerful legs twitched without rhythm. Thick foam collected at its mandibles as its compound eyes rolled wildly. From the far wall, Juno pushed herself upright. By galactic standards, the human was small, barely 5.5 feet tall, but no one aboard underestimated her anymore. Her standard-issue jumpsuit sleeves were rolled up, revealing arms marked with faded scars from battles long past. "Let me try," Juno said quietly as she stepped forward. Sarek's skin flashed a sharp crimson. "Did you not comprehend my diagnosis, human Juno? The creature's pain receptors are firing uncontrollably. Cognitive systems are collapsing. There is no treatment in our medical archives for damage of this magnitude." "I heard you," Juno replied calmly, moving closer to the sled. The war beast shuddered violently. "I'm asking you to let me try anyway." Sarek hesitated. Human behavior had puzzled him since their admission into the Confederation. Their biology defied expectations, and their methods ignored logic more often than not. Still, curiosity flickered beneath his irritation. "Very well," he said at last, stepping aside. "But when you fail, I will proceed immediately. The creature is suffering." Juno nodded once and knelt beside the platform, ignoring the warning lights and restraint fields that screamed danger. Confederation doctrine labeled Corinthian war beasts as weapons, built for pain, not recovery. Yet Juno didn't see a weapon. She saw something afraid. Juno lowered herself until she was level with the creature's eyes. "Easy," she murmured, her voice barely audible. "Easy now." The war beast reacted instantly. Its movements became frantic, mandibles clicking in rapid distress. Sarek took a step forward, prepared to intervene, then stopped. The human hadn't activated a single medical device. She wasn't scanning, analyzing, or referencing data. She was simply there. Slowly, deliberately, Juno extended her hand, stopping just short of the restraint field. "I know it hurts," she said gently. "I know you're scared. But you're safe now. No one here is going to harm you." She began to hum, a low, steady melody with no words. It wasn't a frequency associated with Corinthian communication. It wasn't therapeutic by Confederation standards. Yet the thrashing slowed. Sarek's sensors registered the change immediately. Neural readings shifted. The chaotic firing patterns hadn't healed, that remained impossible, but they were beginning to synchronize. Disorder was giving way to rhythm. "Incredible," Sarek whispered. "Your vocal vibrations are forming a harmonic resonance within the creature's auditory processing centers. This should not influence neural trauma." Juno didn't respond. She continued humming, her tone unwavering. Inch by inch, she lowered her hand until it rested at the edge of the restraint field. The energy barrier crackled faintly. "That's it," she whispered. "You're doing great." The warbeast's 6 eyes finally focused, locking onto her face. Its breathing slowed. Foam receded from its mandibles. One massive claw extended toward her, stopping just short of the field. Sarek rushed closer, instruments flaring to life. "The damage remains," he said, stunned. Pain signals persist, yet stress hormones are dropping rapidly. Cortisol analogs reduced by 47%. Pain isn't just physical, Juno replied softly. Fear makes it worse. Being alone makes it worse. She shifted into a more comfortable position on the floor. Lower the field. Just enough so I can touch him. Absolutely not, Sarek snapped. He won't hurt me, Juno said with quiet certainty. Look at him. Sarek scanned again. Aggression markers had vanished. Defensive responses were near baseline. Against every protocol he knew, Sarek lowered the field. Juno placed her hand on the warbeast's armored shell. The creature shuddered once, then exhaled a deep, rattling breath that sounded unmistakably like relief. Good, Juno whispered. Good, brave boy. This changes nothing, Sarek said, though his skin had shifted to a reflective blue. The neurological damage is permanent. The creature will never fully recover. Confederation law is explicit. Then we adapt, Juno replied, gently stroking the warbeast's carapace. 4 of its 6 eyes slowly closed. Humans have done this for thousands of years. Physical therapy. Adaptive support. We don't abandon lives just because healing isn't perfect. She looked up at Sarek, and something in her expression made the ancient medic pause. If your database doesn't have the protocol, she continued, we create a new one. The warbeast released a low, rumbling chirp. Its remaining functional limb reached forward, resting against Juno's arm. She didn't flinch. Sarek stood motionless, processing what he was witnessing. His species had served the Confederation for 6 millennia. They had catalogued the medical needs of hundreds of species. They had procedures for everything, except kneeling beside a wounded enemy and whispering reassurance. Very well, Sarek said at last, his skin shifting to a calm green touched with admiration. We will attempt your adaptive approach. I will document everything. The medical board will demand explanation. Juno smiled faintly. Document all you want. Maybe you'll learn something. As Sarek began preparing treatment plans no Valoran had ever considered, he watched the human remain beside the warbeast, maintaining her quiet vigil. The creature's breathing had settled into a steady, almost peaceful rhythm. Perhaps medicine was more than data and rules. Perhaps healing sometimes began with presence, with kindness, with the simple understanding that pain was easier to endure when someone stayed. In the sterile medical bay at the edge of known space, another rule had quietly been rewritten, not by technology, but by humanity.